less than a week away from Monique's highly anticipated Netflix comedy special, I Am Monique. As we all know, the special is long coming due to Monique's history with the streaming platform. But the trailer doesn't address any of her past controversies. With that, we couldn't help but notice the special's current promotion from both Netflix and Monique herself, especially compared to other comedians like Chris Rock, who released his special close to a month ago. Today we have our comedy hype analysts, Yamanika Saunders and Pierre, calling to the show along with a very special guest, comedian Darren Fleet, to talk about it and give their thoughts and reactions. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
When y'all walk away from me, y'all will understand who the f I am. Y'all gonna say, oh bitch, I get it now. When I was 13 years old, my grandmother called me in her room. She said, Nikki, don't you ever put a dick in your mouth. And that was the last motherfucking conversation we had about dick sucking. Just don't do it. This teacher was a white man. He was a white man.
The white people like, bitch, what's a white?
My name is Monique.
Now, a lot of people, as we know, have been anticipating this special. And I think for two sides. One, people just being excited to see Monique back, but then the other end, a lot of people were excited to hear her talk about the controversies from a comedic lens on stage, but we didn't see that in the trailer. So, Pierre, I'm going to come to you first. Of course, I want your reaction to the trailer, but then also, do you think Monique even needs to discuss, her controversy with Netflix, Tyler Perry, Oprah, or do you think this was her opportunity to turn over a new leaf and kind of avoid those salacious headlines?
No, she needs to talk about it. It's too much of an elephant in the room. Like Chris Rock did with his special, the slap. If he did not talk about the slap, we'd be like, whoa, hold on now. So it's been a year. I don't know how long it's been with her with Netflix situation, a couple of years. She got a special. She hung out there and did what she had to do to get her special. Her fans, got behind her, rallied behind her. Great thing. She got her special. But in the trailer, come on, y'all. I mean, the dick sucking joke. I mean, dick in your mouth joke, and I didn't see enough comedy up here. I didn't see enough material. I saw a lot of preaching and cursing, but I didn't see no joke to say, oh, shit. But she's going to bring something to the stage, and her fans are going to be ready. They're there. They're ready for it. But will that translate over to other people who weren't her fans? They say, oh, my God, she's funny as hell. You know what I'm saying? Comments who know her know she's funny, but for that trailer, I think it was just an okay trailer. There was no real jokes in there.
Yeah, Yamanika, let me come to you. I want to get your reaction on the trailer, but being that we didn't see her talk about the controversy in that trailer, do you think she even needs to discuss, that controversy, or do you think this is her opportunity to turn over a new leaf and avoid salacious headlines?
Listen, and I always have to put a disclaimer. Y'all know how I feel about Monique. I always go back to when I did Showtime of the Apollo, she was very nasty to me. But she's a hometown woman and she's a Black woman in comedy. So that's why I'm always torn in this situation, because I want to support Black women in comedy. And it is very difficult for Black women in comedy. It's very difficult for women in general. Unfortunately, the way the appetite is for women, and especially Black women, is often caricatures of Black women that people want to see. But oftentimes the content is not there in terms of the stand-up. So, when you see someone who you like, who's larger than life in film or television, and then coming to see them do live stand-up is a different story. This is why when we had the backlash with people talking about, Tiffany Haddish and when they tickets back and this and that, it's like, well, you fell in love with her as a comedic actress. As Pierre says, we know these women as comedians. We know what they can do on live stages. But when your audience falls in love with you for something that may not necessarily be the thing that you really want to do or you're really trying to promote doing, it can be a catch-22. Now, in terms of the business of her talking about Netflix, real comedians don't have to talk about anything other than what's going on in our lives. That may not be something she wants to talk about. But unfortunately, the fanfare around her and Chris, with him being the slap, with her being Tyler Perry and all the controversy, with all the things that she's been very vocal about, it's like, well, why wouldn't you be vocal about it in your stand-up? And for as long as Monique has been doing stand-up, and she is a veteran in comedy and one of the legends, and this is what she I'm certain will say about herself, it is sort of reducery to, even if she's talking about more than that dick sucking, that's what they showed. And there's no reason for them to show that when she is at the level that she's at. We're not here to hear her talk about dick sucking. We're here to hear this mature woman who has grown through comedy. You know, that's the thing about comedy. We age through comedy. We show our age. 20 years in, here's 20 years worth of experience. I don't expect to see the same thing starting in that I see as a woman who is in her 50s, who's been traveling all around the world doing stand-up and is one of the queens of comedy. But that's me saying that without seeing the special. Maybe they didn't edit it right, because sometimes when you go into the editing, if she didn't have any control over that, they pick and choose what they think is going to be salacious and what's going to sell. And also you have to remember Netflix, because I also did the Degenerates on Netflix. I have a half hour. They don't really promote anyway. That's the whole reason behind you having to have a large fan base. They're not going to go out and promote all of this. The promotion I did for mine was me calling, you know, Angela Yee and Charlamagne, asking if I could get on Breakfast Club, calling in favors people so I could get on and talk about the show that I was doing. Because with Netflix, it's like, you got Netflix, now deliver.
Right.
Yeah, and I appreciate that insight too. So thank you for giving that information. Now, first, I want to welcome our guest, Darren Fleet,
Oh, thank you.
to the show.
Thank you.
We appreciate you being here, and I'm super excited to have you on. So I want to
Thank
make
you for
sure.
having me.
Absolutely, I want to lead with that. Now, same thing. I want to get your truthful reaction to seeing the special, but also, you know, do you think Monique needed to talk about all the controversy, or was this her opportunity to turn over a new leaf?
Personally, I think that Monique has grown past that, especially because it was a problem with Lee Daniels and Tyler and Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
And as we've seen, she just recently worked with Lee Daniels again. So I felt like if we just move on from situations, we won't have to keep on opening up that same wound. And then now that Netflix has finally given her what she wants as far as to the deal, why bite a hand that's feeding you? I wouldn't do it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So they're like, no, this is my boss right now, so I definitely want to make the best of it. However, when I saw the clip from, I'm gonna have to agree with what Yamanique said and Pierre, it was not the best highlighting of stand-up comedy as far as to experience. I didn't really hear a lot of jokes. Not saying that Monique doesn't have jokes, but it just looked like what we've seen before from Monique, as far as to like the dick sucking, and I heard the Queens of Comedy and stuff like that. But I'm still a huge fan of Monique, and I wish the best for her, but no, I don't think she should have talked about the controversy.
Yeah.
She's been into it with a lot of people. You had to bring up DL, you had to bring up so many people. People like, damn, and the list goes on. And that's 30 minutes in itself. So, like.
Right, yeah, no, and I
that's
think.
half your set.
For sure, and I will agree. When I saw the trailer, I was, you know, a little disappointed because it didn't will me in or bring me in as much as I thought, especially knowing who Monique is. So I think a lot of people are feeling that as well, but people are just happy to see her back.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, I want to, Pierre, I'm going to come back to you. So Strong Black Lead would post this trailer on the Instagram, and I want to read the caption, then ask you a question. So they said, she's back. Monique delivers a career-defining powerhouse stand-up performance in her unprecedented return to the stage. Now, you know, that part where they say career-defining, right? I think there's different ways that can take it, but it did bring up the question I want to ask you, Pierre. Do you think, you know, because we were built up to this moment, right? We saw the controversy, we saw the lawsuit and all that, and now we saw a reconciliation between Monique and Netflix, but not much after that other than she's got her special.
Correct.
So Pierre, do you think Monique has won because she got what she was fighting for, or do you think her career is dependent on this special being funny?
One more time, tell me who the fuck said that? Who the hell said that about her?
Hey, yeah.
Strong Black Lead. So that's Netflix's one of Netflix's accounts. Strong Black Lead. That's where they.
Now it makes more sense. That's who said that. Okay, Netflix said that. Get out of here. You know, the career defining and all that. You're gonna say whatever shit. You know what I'm saying? This right here, comedy hype is career defining for some of us. Okay, damn it. But the proof is gonna be in the pudding. Okay, the proof is gonna be in the pudding when we see the show. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. When we see it, we're gonna see this career defining and all that other stuff. Maybe it is, but from that trailer, it wasn't from the trailer. Okay, you know, it was back to what it was. You know, and like I said, I think she has better jokes, and well, I'm gonna say better jokes. I think she could go different angles, and unfortunately, they didn't. Like Yamanique said, they didn't show other jokes. It was just a dick sucking joke that they showed. And she's bigger than that, better than that. I've seen her perform before. I know she, you know, brings more to the table than a dick sucking joke. Again, they normally highlight your best joke. Normally, that's what most specials do. Let's hope that wasn't the best joke, which I'm hoping it's not. But But no, I'm sorry about yeah. People are excited. Her fans are excited, to see her. She has won. She fought the big monster of Netflix, and they cowered down to her and gave her a special. Maybe the stuff she's always been talking about is truthful. And finally, somebody had spoken up and said, okay, but to her fans and everyone else, I'm happy that she fought the monster and she won. She has a special. Now that she has a special, let's make it special. Shit, okay? Let's not just be up there talking for an hour. Let's make it special. Let's see what they talk about the next day. Are we talking about the special the next day? If not, she just did a Netflix show. Damn special. Because I've seen a lot of Netflix shows that weren't special.
Right. Yeah. No. And I think you bring up a great point, because right now we're not seeing a lot of talk, but I do think that next day is going to be monumental. So Yamaneika, let me come to you. That next day or that time after, if it's not funny, right? Or do you think if it's not funny that this special could hurt Monique, or do you think it won't have any effect whether it's funny or not?
Let me just get this off my chest, okay? I'm so tired of the motherfucking ball gown and all of this. It's like, bitch, are you doing opera or are you doing comedy? I would have, and she'd be on her Instagram bipping and bopping. It's like, put a little jumpsuit on, give me a little, because that's the one thing I'm gonna tell you, like, when you have somebody like Samore, right, who really give you that, come out there with this and this and that. I just wanted to see, I did not want to see Monique in that fucking ball gown. Because, bitch, when you go to run your mouth, you're not a ball gown lounge singing act. You understand? You're the woman that comes to people and you come directly in their face. And I wanted to see that. I think also the stage looked very boring to me. You understand? Like, I want to see, maybe put a chair there, put some lights, put some sparkle, put all these things that coincide with her personality. And, she has to get more involved in whoever is doing her imaging so that we can see visually, like, oh, let me get excited. Let me anticipate, what's happening. But she did look beautiful. I'm not going to say that. I love the gray hair on her. She looked good. Her body looks good. She's a beautiful woman. I'm never going to take that away from her. I want her to win, even though I got the problem with her, because I'm telling you, as a Black woman, I hope she win, because listen, Netflix can give her that, and then the next day it'll be, see, this is why we don't give them nothing.
Correct.
Then you got men going, this is why women ain't funny. Never mistake that some of the funniest women in comedy, myself included, I'll just throw myself out there, may not be the women that you see get these type of opportunities for whatever reason. And I need her to win with this. Now, I agree with Darren. Ain't nobody biting the hand that feed them, because a lot of times in the comment section, we get niggas running their mouth. Oh, you sold out to the man, and oh, da-da-da-da-da. Listen, nigga, when you go to Kinko's, wherever the fuck you work, you going to correlate them papers the way you need to so that you don't lose your job. And we doing the same thing. This is a business, okay? With nobody, we ain't Martin Luther King. Ain't nobody standing on no pulpit. We ain't offered by no donation. We get paid by the people who pay us to put out content. So that's who we have to please. Everybody's got to please somebody that's giving them money until you own yourself, okay? That's number one. Number two, as much as I wouldn't do it, we watch Dave Chappelle do it, but then that's somebody else, right? That's on a different level of how to maneuver. Dave Chappelle talked shit about Comedy Central not paying him on Netflix, and then had some other shit going on, and then Netflix still gave him more shows, and then Comedy Central came in and said, hey, you know why? Because Dave has proven himself. People were behind him 1,000% to say, hey, we didn't know this was going on. We needed this back information. So a lot of times you can also use that as the vehicle, but you have to be more transparent. Whatever it is about Monique that's not letting her translate who she authentically is, because I think she is very funny through the comedy. Sometimes it's trauma there. You understand? For me to go and talk about things that have really hurt me, who hurt you, right? We've all been hurt. You have to find a place to find the fun and funny in it before you can bring that on stage. Because if you don't find the funny in it, or you haven't gotten over it to then talk about the pain that you experienced, it comes off, like Pierre says, preachy. I'm above it all. You know, as stand-ups, we can't be above the audience. We can't be dictating to them, talking down to them. When we get on stage, we're trying to find a way for us to connect with you. I don't want to tell you, by the end of this, you're going to know who the hell I am. I want you to tell me, wow, I really got a lot of insight into who you were because you let the guard down. So again, we are talking premature because we haven't seen it, but I just pray to God that the editing of this was not the best they could have done. And I pray and really want Monique to win and deliver in this, because this would not only be a win for her, but this would be a win for Black women who have to fight really hard in this business to have the exterior. Monique's exterior is a lot of the exterior that Black women have to have in this business, because we're fighting for everything. We have to go hard. We have to speak up. We can't be soft. We can't. So I want to see her win. As much as I got to promise her, I really want to see her win with this.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Darren, I see you're agreeing a lot with what's being said, so I'd love to get your take on it. Do you think, you know, if the results of this, because we're talking about it prematurely, right? If the results of this special isn't funny, do you think it's going to hurt Monique and, you know, that fight that we've seen happen between her and Netflix?
I don't think it'll hurt Monique because she's multi-talented. So we've seen Monique in dramas, we've seen Monique in comedy. Hell, we've seen Monique host award shows, you know what I mean? Now, personally, when it comes to stand-up, I always looked at Monique as a host more so because, like, what she does on the Apollo or the BET Awards and stuff like that. Yeah, it's different. Now, when I see her do stand-up, I feel like stand-up is more of a, it's one of them arts that you can't put a finger on. You really got to know what you're doing, especially to be like a headliner. You want to make sure that all your ducks are lined up. I never really, and I don't want to say this to hurt Monique, but I don't know a Monique joke other than big women punch a skinny bitch in the head. And that's not a joke to me, that's a lawsuit. So, just being honest. So I don't think it will hurt her at all because, oh, we didn't hear a Monique joke. Because when you think about it, have we ever really heard a Monique joke? Monique is more of a host. But sometimes when you've been in that forefront and you've had your own TV shows like The Parkers, etc., they're going to give you the Netflix special because so many people know you and you have such a broad fan base.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I don't think that it will hurt her, no. Now, as far as to her continuing in her career after this, well, we've seen Monique be able to take a lick and keep on ticking. Like, Monique has cussed out people. I would never say anything. I would never say shit about Oprah. You know, Oprah could have bought my dad who done me wrong on that TV show, and I would just shut my mouth. You know what I mean? Because I know the power of keep on working. So we've seen Monique cuss out some people that, you know, you really need, especially as far as us in this Black community, and still be able to, you know, be dominant in her space. So I don't think that nothing can really hurt Monique but Monique. Yeah. Really.
Yeah, no, and I think a lot of people can agree with that. Go ahead, Pierre.
But let me say the hurt part, her career and all that. No, Darren's right. It won't hurt her career, but to make all that hoopla she did early on years ago for a Netflix special, why did she deserve more money? I guess it's more about money and so forth. I should be up there with the rest of them. You know, unfortunately, it is what it is. White folks have a little bit easier life. They have a horrible special, a la like Amy Schumer or whatever. So people, they can keep on going. We are on that one and done level a lot of times. And with that being said, all that she said to fight to get that Netflix, I deserve one, I deserve more money and stuff, blah, blah, blah. I guess she really didn't say at the end of the day, I deserve it. They were giving her a Netflix special. She was more about the money, which it makes, I understand that. But now it's going to say that, were you really worth the money you were yelling? Some people gonna look at that. Her fans don't care. They'll be like, I don't give a damn what she say. But other people are gonna look and say, were you worth the what she want? What she want? 5 million or something like that? What did she want? 5 million? Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Right. She wanted that money she won instead of 500,000. There are people, we're in the world that we are in, are looking at her like, okay, then let's see if you worth the $5 million you was asking for. That's the pressure. And if they don't see that, those fans who are on the line or whatever, they're definitely gone. You know, now you ain't. But if they were on the line, she does great. She'll get new fans and those fans. Now, please, I hope she don't say, I don't care about people. I'm not in the business of not caring about people. I want people to like what I do. And I know she wants the same thing. But will it hurt her? I'll tell you what, if it ain't a good Netflix special, I don't know if we have another one. I'm just being honest with you.
Can I add, if you don't mind? And this is my, has nothing, I'm not disagreeing with anybody. I agree with everything that's been said. Let me just say two things. Number one, let me clear it up. I know Pierre was throwing out names. Amy Schumer is my boss. She has the funniest specials I know. Thank you. Now, okay.
Opinions.
Okay, we are taping.
Opinions. No, I'm opinions.
No, I
Okay.
know. Listen, I'm just saying we take the
Okay.
of life and death. Okay, listen, nigga, you ain't gonna mess up my checks. Now,
That's exactly like Darren said. You got to watch the hand that bite that feeds you. So yeah, Amy Schumer is hilarious to you. I like her personally.
No, I genuinely, I love her.
I know you do. I bet you do.
But Pierre, shut up. But I want to say this: that has to be because people have to understand specials, right? And taping a special, because I think people think it's something that's easy. One of the things when Chris Rock got a lot of flack for his special from people because it was like this, it wasn't this, it was that. What we did not acknowledge was that he taped that live, right? So most people we'll tape our special a couple times. You get the best takes. You do an edit. This audience laughed at this happened. This joke hit on this, and so you get to put together a collage of the best version of this set, so that when people present it, it's like, oh, here it is. Here's the best version of the set that we have. The audience was line. This was line. That was line. The other thing that I think people don't think about, and that oftentimes comedians don't utilize, is, and I've had a problem with this, when you get to a certain level in comedy, and especially when you have expected to crank out a lot of material, the team around you has to be on point as well. And sometimes people don't utilize a team around them, or they just have one or two people. It is very important that if you're a comedian that's coming out with a special and you have all these things you want to talk about and you have your persona and all that shit is set already, the people that help you fine tune those jokes, structure them, set up punchline, callbacks, puts an arc into it, that is important as well. So I think, I don't know if Monique utilizes people to help her form her material. I don't know if there's a structure there. Sometimes people don't want to do that. Sometimes people need to do that. But oftentimes when you see a comedian and they are really fine-tuned, it's because so many eyes have been on that material that they are giving you the best. And that's what we want to see. Refined, structured material that has come together and has a point, not just somebody going up on stage, sort of freestyling and doing, like Darren says, there is a sort of a hosting, because in hosting, you can be more loose. In hosting, it doesn't have, we're not really worried about the material. I got to get this show pumping because after me, other people are going to come up and do structured sets.
All right. Now, one thing I'll say, you're right. But here's the thing. I like the live thing of Chris Rock because that's who I get to see. I don't get to see the perfectly made one from the special all the time. That's why you do specials, you clean them up, you fix them up, then they can go live and you go see them go live. Like, he ain't as funny as that. Well, because you saw the HBO Netflix special that was tweaked up and pretty dope. Right. I like Chris Rock saying, this is what I am. The mistakes I make, whatever I flow, this is what you're going to get to see, this type of humor. That's doper than someone taking a special and cleaning it all up with 18 shows to make one perfect show. Because when I see you live, you might not be perfect. Then I might be disappointed. So I'm down for that. And last thing, Amy Schumer. I got love for Amy Schumer. I liked her show. But the special before the last was not one of my favorites. I'm willing to say that. So don't go running your boss. Guess what? Yeah, don't like you. Oh,
listen, I'm a fast forward right to this part the next time I see her. No, what I 1,000% agree with you about the live. What I wanted to let people know is that I felt like Chris Rock should have gotten more credit for what he did, because people gave him a lot of criticism, but you have to understand, this is the first time that somebody has allowed somebody to stream it live, one take. Any flubs, any mistakes, a joke don't hit, you get to see all of that without it being cleaned up. So I wanted to give him his flowers for doing something that was unprecedented. And to be honest, something I don't even know myself, if I want people to say, give me a couple of takes, honey.
No, I definitely wouldn't do, no. I agree with you, Yamini. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I do believe that was Netflix's first live stand-up that they did.
Just going all the way through.
All the way through, yeah.
No
so a big shout out to Chris Rock for doing that, executing that very well, even though, like Yamanika said, he's received so much criticism. Now, as you all know, every Wednesday we have a live studio audience, and I like to give a round of applause to everybody that showed up. And today is no different, where we get to have a live studio audience member come on the show, shout themselves out, but also ask you all a question. So this week, we have local comedian KJ Lee, who's going to ask you all the questions. So KJ, thank you for joining us, and what's your question?
All right, so pretty much I've been following Monique for her entire career, all the way from the Parkers to Precious, and I'm trying to think, what's your favorite Monique moment? Like, I can think personally, mine is Roscoe Jenkins when her and Martin got into that fight by the lake. That was
That was hilarious.
That's real specific, but that was absolutely hilarious. And so, what's one of you guys' favorite part?
Well, what was something she had said on the Queens of Comedy into this last movie she just did with Lee Daniels? Yeah. And the girl was asking her, what about the kids? And she was like, man, fuck them kids and fuck you too. Like, so it's now a TikTok. I done did it too. So yeah, love Monique.
But I ain't got one.
Oh, shit.
When I was a budding comic who was excited to see her on Showtime at the Apollo, she paid me dust and was very nasty to me and told me not to speak to her. So, but again, the Lord will let us cross paths one day, and maybe she was in a bad place. I can't act like I'm not a person who hasn't been mean or had an attitude. So, but that really got underneath my spirit in a way. And I don't like to be phony. So I always like to put that out there before I make any commentary about her, because, aside from that experience, I just think Monique is somebody that I see has gone through a lot, has a lot of pain. So whenever I get to see her smile in that girl-like way, anytime she does that, it shows me that there is that little girl still there. So that's the thing I like most about Monique, is when she smiles.
To be honest, I don't have a moment. There's a lot of things she's done that I thought was just, entertaining. It doesn't always have to be on a positive note. It's just sometimes it'd be interesting. When she went off on DL on the stage, that was like interesting. Like, wow, her performance in Precious was magnificent. Her last one in this movie here was magnificent, man. She has done so many magnificent moments, that I really can't just say one and done with her. For all the ones that was great, some of them weren't that good. Some of the ones that weren't that good, some of the stuff she did, but she's had so many great, performances. And she's interesting. Let's be, at the end of the day, look at how people gravitate to her. No matter what you want to say about her, she is a force to be reckoned with. You know what I'm saying? You can't hold that sister down. You just can't. She's gonna come back up again, man. In fact, I enjoy that. When everybody puts her down for a second, she rises back up with a great performance or something, and she might do something crazy again where everyone's back on her, negative back on her again, and she pops up with another great performance. That's a hell of a thing to do, because sometimes it's one and done. If your ass ain't good, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? So she's obviously talented, has a lot of great moments. I love a lot of her moments. I can't really, point my finger at one of them, but I'd say that she's just, thank God she's here. She's entertaining us, and we have something to talk about today.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
Well, KJ, thank you so much for joining us. Before we head out, of course, how can people follow you and keep up with all the things that you have going on?
Yeah, I'm a comedian. I actually perform here at Comedy Hype Studios in Atlanta every other Saturday at the All Black Comedy Show. If you want to see me live, you can follow me online. I actually got a web series coming out, though, called Manish, the series, about a struggling stand-up comic, and y'all can follow that. Hopefully, John will put it in the link.
Yeah, we'll have it at the bottom.
All right, yeah, link me in. And yeah, y'all can follow me and check all that out, and appreciate it. Big fan of you, Pierre. Been a fan since old school. And then I'm a big fan of Yamanika. I talked to you actually when I was in New York a few weeks ago. I don't know if you remember, but it was before you did a show. You've been very, very sweet. You were nice to me in person, so I'll always say nice.
Yamanika, nice in person?
I wouldn't be the bad, I am nice in person.
All right. Nah, you know you are. I love you, girl.
Well, again, KJ, thank you so much for joining us. We'll give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. And as always, a shout out to our sponsor, Smoky Stallion, for this week's Viewer Spotlight. Every Wednesday, they have Whiskey and Wing Wednesday at Smoky Stallion Barbecue, owned by Cam and CJ Newton. They have 50-cent wings and $5 whiskey all day, every Wednesday. The address is 309 Nelson Street in Atlanta, Georgia. You can check out their hours below. And don't forget to stop by and wash down some of those good wings with a drink of Woodson whiskey. Now, I know the question was asked to you all, but I have to also say my favorite Monique moment. As a host being that I do host live events and stuff, I think you hit it perfect. Watching Monique host BET Awards, that was always my favorite moment. I just loved how she always brought a different dynamic. It wasn't just her on the mic and kind of, just sitting there, the live performances. I remember the Beyonce tribute. So
Lovely.
different moments on BET. Yeah, the and she had all my girls on stage. I remember that like it was yesterday. So
Monique was having fun then.
yeah, she was. She was fun, and it just felt good. Like I was always excited for BET Awards, but it was mostly for Monique. So yeah, big shout out to Monique, and congratulations on everything. And I'm looking forward to her special that comes out Tuesday on Netflix. So again, thank you all for chiming in on this topic. Since we're in the celebration moment, I like to know what you have going on. So I'm going to start with our special guest, Darren Fleet. And let me give one more round of applause for joining us.
Y'all are too kind.
No, we appreciate it. What do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
Well, my sweet babies. In my Monique voice. My sweet babies. Actually, I'm doing Raleigh, North Carolina coming up. That's April the 2nd, live at Charlie Goodnight's. And then we'll be going to Helium in Philly, April the 22nd. I'm closing up the tour on May the 19th and 20th. And I'm doing Greensboro, North Carolina. And we're going to revamp in June. And I start on the Midwest, Chicago, St. Louis, Detroit. Other than that, you guys can follow me at Love Darren Fleet on Instagram. Darren Fleet comedian. It used to be comedian Darren Fleet, right? But somebody hacked my page, so now I had to go a different route. My sweet babies. But Darren Fleet comedian on Facebook, and we're doing the numbers there. And just keep on keeping on, y'all. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you. You are definitely hilarious, so we're looking forward to having you.
Thank you.
On the show. Pierre, I'm going to come to you because I'm going to end with Yamanika. Yamanika like to give her flowers to everybody. She's going to go to the live studio, so I'm going to wrap up on Yamanika. So Pierre, I'm coming to you. What do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
Really, Darren? Really, Darren, nigga? Really?
What?
Darren Fleet's on my show, my podcast this week. I brought his ass over to do my podcast on Pierre's Panic Room. This week he's on. He might have forgot about it because he's touring, but this week he's on my show. So so all that, thank you for being on the show. I appreciate you. Cool. But he's in North Carolina, Raleigh coming up. But this week, click on Pierre's Panic Room and you'll see Darren Fleet being funny.
Pierre, I appreciate you. You're far too kind. Dressed like a Missy background dancer shit. But I love it though. Little Adidas suit.
Yamanika, I'm coming over to close out with you. Now first, I always love your backgrounds. They're always on theme. So I'm closing out. What do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
Let me get my flowers. I mean, Darren, I'm so glad you were here today. It behooves us to say thank you for joining us. Pierre and I are a tough sell sometimes because we're like a, foster care brother and sister. We were separated and we grew up in different homes, but the DNA keeps bringing us back together. So we're so glad you sat in the pit with us, and anytime you want to come back, I'm sure John would agree. Please do. If we know you're busy and your schedule's all over the place.
Thank y'all for having me.
The studio audience, those beautiful babies, my babies in pink, the gentleman sitting next to them, my young baby that came up to me, so sweet. And you know what? He came like a professional young man. That goes a long way in this business. You know how many people come up to me just all crazy, all kinds of out the way. I don't know what the hell is happening. He had a spirit on him. And this is what I like, since they say I give Black men such flack. I love a Black man like that. Young Black man, talented, smart, got his head on right, respect, understand. So, I appreciate that. And God bless all the kids that come in. I don't know if they eat the whiskeys and wings, but they don't need to. If they let them just have the wing, the whiskey. You're too young for whiskey. Leave that to Pierre and I. Now, be quiet, Pierre. Now, if you haven't followed Symphony, you're a fool. Go on Symphony page. Symphony had the looks this week. Every time I turned around, you was posting something. I said, whoop. Whoop. Oh, you're burning it up. You look good. I said, wow. Hey. You're a fool if you're not following Symphony. She brings so much joy to my timeline. My God, I gotta step my game up. I'm sitting here, I barely threw on a face. I just got finished working out because I'm trying not to be a big Bertha next year. Now, I'm going to be in Chicago. I try to keep this light because I know how Chicago get down. Don't bring none of your shenanigans in Chicago, but come to Chicago. I'm going to have a couple special guests. I'm going to be at Zany's new spot in Rosemont. We're doing one show on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday. And I want you to know how important this is to me because I'm tired. I'm taping the show. I got to work hard to get my name out there. I've been working night and day on my own shit. I'm branding my own shit. I'm working on somebody else's project. I'm writing on a show. I'm trying to sell a show. I'm tired. And God knows I wanted to cancel because I'm sleepy. I'm going to be getting off the set late Thursday night, flying in Friday to perform Friday, perform Saturday, flying out early Sunday morning so I can get back in time and tape again on Monday. Don't come with the shenanigans if y'all come to see me at Zany's.
Damn.
Then we're going to have a good time. And what we need when you come to see us, me, Pierre, Darren, come with your spirit ready to hear comedy. One of the biggest things I want to say before I get out of here. Sometimes we are playing to the audience out of fear that nobody's going to laugh and we don't get a chance to grow. That's the one thing that them white comics will get. They can be corny as fuck and people will work with them niggas while they are putting that shit together on stage. We need that kind of shit from our people too. So not every joke's going to hit. Sometimes we working shit out. Sometimes we need to hear it from you, what you think is funny so that we know where to go. So please give us grace when you come see us live. It is live. We don't know who the fuck you are. We don't know who you showing up with. We don't know your crew.
Correct.
We are vulnerable on that stage. Expose the people we don't know. We need good energy when you come out here. Please. And I promise you, even Pierre stink ass, he gonna give it back to you. Pierre, he acts stink. Pierre not
Bring the shenanigans. Bring the shenanigans, Nichols. I got something for your ass. Okay. I'm gonna spotlight your monkey ass in that outfit you got on.
Y'all are hilarious.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't want to drone on, but I wanted to give my flowers and I also was on a high horse today. So I wanted to say that.
No, I love it. I warned Darren. I said, now Darren, y'all
go back and
Pierre, they
forth.
gonna go back and forth. So just feel free to get in the mix. But I truly enjoy it and appreciate you all. Now, you know, most times I just end the show with what you all have going on, but I'm gonna add a little flair and promote something that I have going on as well. So I'm actually co-producing a show called Black Friday Report with Killer Mike, and it airs on network Peachtree TV this Friday, March 31st at 8 p.m. And I'm super excited because I did get the green light to share the trailer here. So once the show ends, you all will actually be able to see an exclusive trailer of Black Friday Report, which airs this Friday. So make sure you turn on your screens. It's streaming, it's on TV, so you have no excuse. So as always, I appreciate you all for chiming in, and I appreciate everyone for their support. You can show it on Black Friday Report as well. But you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Monique's Netflix trailer, Avoiding Past Controversies? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
And if you want to see Darren on my podcast, go check it out.
And I'll be on his next episode that's airing. Are you happy, Pierre?
There you go. Welcome to Black Friday Report, where we not only visit Black-owned business, but review them as well. I'm your host, Symphony Thompson, and today I got something spicy on the list for us. I'll be joined by actress, producer, and director, Terry J. Vaughn, and we're doing aerial dancing. Terry J. Vaughn in the house! Terry J. Vaughn in the house!
Today we'll be doing aerial.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
I'm meeting with my girl, Vanessa Fraction. They call her Action Fraction. Today we're going horseback riding on Sofa Ranch. Excuse me there, shorty. You're looking a little horse ready.
You know I'm always ready to ride.
Well, let's go, baby. Come on. Let's ride. I'm going to be joined by the one and only Mr. Anthony Hamilton. And I heard he thinks that he can dance. So I said, okay, let's go to a dance studio.
I've done a lot of dancing.
Right.
None of it has been aerial.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Welcome to Sofa Ranch. I am Darren Fleet, the owner and operator of Sofa.
You're trying to outstretch me now.
You're
See,
trying
and
to
that's,
outstretch
I
me?
knew you was trying. I don't even know what stretch this is, but I feel as if I got the different horse. Was there a reason why I got the different horse? A lot of people typically us black people say like, I'm not gonna support a black-owned business. I'm gonna ask you about 3 categories.
Got it.
And then in those 3 categories, I want you to grade your review completely honest. Your overall experience, the professionalism, and then the cost.
Overall experience, I think it's amazing. This is my first time really doing a dance studio, so I think I had a great time.
I definitely give it an A, for sure. Definitely worth it. The price point is great.
I have been a bunch of times, and this is actually the first time that it stuck with me.
I heard you was looking for Charlene.
Maybe I am. Could that be you? What's up?
I'm ready. I hope that he's ready.
I stay ready.
Oh, wait a minute. You know you win some.
What's up with it? Hey! Whoa!
Whoa!
And you lose some.
I'm a bit of a thoroughbred.
You can't sing anymore, Anthony. What would you do? This.
Yes. You are a goddess. Come on. Yes, goddess. Beautiful.